Okay, so what we're going to do now that you got everything downloaded, you should have two files. If you look here on my desktop, I have the zip file, which is the operating system for the Raspberry Pi. And then I also have, if you look here, I also have the Raspberry Pi imager file. And so what's going to happen with that is we're going to go ahead and get that downloaded. So I'm going to pull that out of my downloads folder. You might have it wherever you least had it here. And so here is the imager file right here. I'm just going to go ahead and double click that. Windows is going to be relatively the same. Obviously look a little bit different with your installation, but the software is going to be all one and the same here. And so while we click on that and get that rocket rolling, you're going to go ahead and get that installed. It's going to walk you through those steps there. So once you have the software downloaded and you click on it to open it, this obviously going to look a little bit different on a PC, but on a Mac, I'm going to get this image here, and I'm just simply going to drag the software over to the application folder. I'll just hit replace here because I've already got it, but if you're first time, you won't have that thing show up. And once you have it, that's what we're going to use for the software. So while we're waiting for that to load, you should have two things. I mean, I've got my Raspberry Pi right here, but you're also going to need your little micro SD card, a minimum of 8 gig, and that's what this little tiny guy is. And then for me, I need a micro SD card reader. So I don't have a slot for the micro SD card on my Mac, but I'm going to need one of these. And so I'm just going to slide that micro SD card in there, just like so. And then I can slide it into the side to be able to install. So I should be in good business here with all of that. So now if I go to my applications on my Mac, I can see the Raspberry Pi imager software right here. I'm going to go ahead and double click that. It's going to open up here. So what I'll do is I will then insert this. I have a SD card slot on my Mac. If you don't have one of those, you're going to need to get a card reader of some shape or form. So just let me know if you're running into issues. We can kind of troubleshoot that, but I'm assuming most of us can do that. But here is how awesome this operating system installation is with the Raspberry Pi imager. First, I'm going to choose operating system. Okay, and in this case, we're going to go with the standard one right here. That's what we're going to use for the course, the Raspberry Pi operating system 32-bit. You can see there are plenty of other things that you need to do. I'm going to go ahead and choose that. I'm going to go ahead and plug my SD card in so my computer can read it. And I'm going to choose the SD card. And so I can see here that it's reading this. This is helpful, makes it a lot easier. Sometimes some other platforms, you got to be careful that you didn't actually choose your own hard drive and wipe out your computer hard drive. So in this case, it's the Apple SD card media reader for me. I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click write. And it's going to tell me that everything's going to be erased. So I have a lot on here already from some previous projects, but we're going to start fresh, just like all of you, and we're going to hit yes. And it's going to go ahead and prepare to write. So we are going to go through this, let this do its thing. We're not going to sit through all this in the video, so we will come back once this is completed and then get our Raspberry Pi up and running with what we need.